What's happening?
Pastor Jeff.
Hey, I'm hoping most of our viewers today are Baptist church members. They know what late means.
Listen. As long as they're black, they know what's going on. They know what the deal is. This is nothing new. It would be really bad if we started late and then the preachers don't show up for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
That's the good preacher.
Stop the service and make everybody stand up while we walk in with gaiters on. And
it's the prelay pastor.
9-piece suits. Yeah, everyone please stand for the arch potentate of the Milky Way Galaxy District of the Universal Church of Nobody and Nowhere.
Y'all come on in from the back now.
Y'all come in from the back. Classic. Y'all come on in from the back. Nobody is in this church. Nobody is there.
Nobody come. Ain't nobody.
Nobody's coming. Nobody's even making chicken in the background. Nobody.
How you feeling, man?
Man, you know I'm on cloud 9.
I know. I'm gonna open up with that, so don't talk about it yet.
Yeah, man. You know how I'm feeling? I'm feeling that Nick Cannon is the new Father Abraham.
What?
This cat is on like his 9th baby, man.
He having another baby? Well, I
but like, yeah, he's like biblical about it. He's like with his 5th wife or something, or woman, or and they always do these fancy photo shoots too. I mean, Nick Cannon, he's like the new Adam. He is.
They gave him his job back on Wild 'N Out, so maybe.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, that's what I heard. My wife told me.
Okay, usually once they throw a black man off, they don't let him back. So that might be a first. That might have to be in the black.
We done a Forgive Me tour.
Oh, he did a Forgive Me tour?
He done a Forgive Me tour, And now let me ask you something real quick before we get started, because I know what I really want to talk about. But somebody posted this question.
Okay.
Somebody posted this question. I think I want to pose it to you. I'm going to try to move this mic a little bit. Do you hear my feedback? Because I hear it myself.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Question I want to ask you is, if they let R. Kelly out of jail right now, I want to ask this to the whole thing. Who going to the concert?
I know a lot of people that would.
Who going to the R. Kelly concert?
I know a lot of people that would. I know a lot of people that would.
You think so? You think?
Yeah, I know some church folk that would. Let him out of jail right now. Hey. Some of these people listen to R. Kelly preach every week, so.
Well.
Some of them will still pay a ticket to watch R. Kelly run a football. So, Kels, I believe it's disgusting. I believe it's guilty. I believe it's terrible. But the brother is not alone. Brother's not alone.
Truth.
Bill Cosby is not alone. The Weinstein dude is not alone. But R. Kelly, it's got to be like a 3-year. It got to be like a 3-year buffer. It got to be like a 3-year buffer with no more videos dropping. But this cat got like a whole library. Like remember when they said when Prince died, they said he had a whole vault full of music and albums. Man, Kel's got a whole vault full of dastardly acts. This is the remix featuring Lil Baby. This is the remix featuring Lil Baby and Lil Nas X. But in all seriousness, I have a hard time, and there are people who don't judge him. I can't listen to dude, but I will rock with Michael Jackson though, because I still believe Mike. I'm still on Team MJ.
Well, I mean, anybody who had this is killing me. My volume is killing me, y'all. I'm sorry.
Did you turn it down a bit?
I turned it all the way down. I think I'm trying to make sure I turned it the right way. We having all kind of technical difficulties today, y'all. I apologize. That sounds better, don't it?
That's better. Okay, that's cool. We're loving it. We're loving it.
Cool, wonderful.
So, what's your take? Would you go?
I'm gonna be honest. I was a huge R. Kelly fan. I sung R. Kelly.
Why am I not surprised?
On me and my wife's first cruise, I done a karaoke to R. Kelly. I Believe I Can Fly, and at the end, I said "Sexual Chocolate." Dropped the mic. The crowd went crazy.
Well, everybody was singing Kel's, and I Believe I Can Fly. And then everybody, even after the first one, was like didn't know what to think. But after this last, them Lifetime movie, and what surviving R. Kelly and all that.
I mean, I would trust me. I would not go now. Not because I don't like his music. I think he's a phenomenal performer. I think he's a phenomenal singer. But his character and his charisma does not line up. And there has to be some type of.
Does there though?
I mean, for personally.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I'm not even talking about everybody has faults. We're beyond faults. If you took away the music and the media and the movies and the TV shows of people who are downright sick and have done terrible things to other people, we wouldn't have a Hollywood or a music industry. We'll never know, but somebody does know, and I think that culture of silence really does matter. We talk about the church and stuff, but I think that any large industry where there's a lot of money at stake, power, ego, but you take away these people who have murdered, killed, raped, abused and whatever. And we would be going to the movies watching stick figures on our kids' coloring books.
So you don't think there's very few people out there who has a clean bill of health record?
No, I think they're clean. What I'm saying is it's such an intertwined industry. Yeah. Who hasn't worked with R. Kelly? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Lil Nas X.
But again, is but it's he's out of my playlist.
Yeah,
he's out of my playlist. He really is. But it's not something I think about. I don't have to rant about it. It just is what it is, man. But let's knock this last part out. We both had wonderful celebrations.
Wonderful. Let's start with yours, man, because that's just. I mean, how does it feel to baptize your kids?
Man, it feels like not that your work is done, but you've definitely completed one core part of your mission, and that is to introduce them to Jesus Christ. Which is obviously my faith, and I don't knock anyone's faith, and I actually celebrate all expressions of faith. Absolutely. Because I can't imagine what it's like for some father or mother to take their child through whatever rite of passage or confirmation or affirmation or journey to manhood or womanhood or whatever. It's meaningful because that's a part of what we're placed on this earth to do.
Yes.
Is to raise our seed. And of course I'm unapologetically Christian, and so that's what I want to mold and raise my children in, and to go through that with them, man. I mean, we cried and celebrated, and I'm just so proud of them, and it's just so meaningful. And I say it all the time, and Jeff, I know you share this sentiment. Whether you're a preacher or in the church or whatever, I don't understand a man that wouldn't be in his kids' lives, in some measure, if they are able to. Now, I know that there are circumstances, but I'll never understand that man that doesn't want to be in his child's life or hasn't really made a real attempt or hasn't been trained, and maybe they haven't been trained to be where they don't know. But man, precious, life-changing. That's now, going on my wall.
Did you do all three, or just
the boys came forward?
Okay.
Previously, and honestly, I celebrate that fact too.
Absolutely.
Because as much as I want to raise my children, we don't want peer pressure. We don't want pastoral, dad's a pastor, got to do this, got to do that. I'm glad that my daughter's open-minded. Now, if she get a little too oopen-minded, we have a problem. I'm like, yo.
That's why you roll.
Right.
Now, before we move on to my little celebration, I just got to ask you, Doc. I mean, because Elias is a big boy, and you kind of on the light side.
Bruh, listen. I've baptized some heavy duty, and all I got to say is thank God he created buoyancy. Because without that, a lot of us preachers would be taken under. That's why you got to baptize these folk before they've been to too many church meals and fellowships and potlucks and got all them greens and cornbread in them. You got to baptize them early.
Yes, sir. Life. Yes, sir. Yes,
that's why you need to do them young. That's why they say you save them young. Once you get too big, you're too heavy to baptize. Hey, but I always have somebody in there with me, because I did hear that my predecessor did one by himself, and the lady took him down, and he got baptized.
double baptism. It was a double baptism.
He's double Baptist. So it's been a beautiful thing. We're shouting out Pastor Jeff and Lady Tiffany. They had the baby shower for Grayson
Love Stanford.
Grayson Love Stanford. That's a good name. Grayson Stanford is like, you're either gonna be like the Pope or like a bishop or like a serial killer. You can only be one or the other. You have to be like super duper like holy or talented, or just like Grayson Love Stanford was arrested for rubbing his butt cheeks on a convenience store window.
Well, based upon the kids we got now, if it goes in order in line,
it ain't looking too good. No, I mean seriously, it was all love. Shamika came and celebrated.
It was
and let's shout out our boy Ted. Todd did not. Let's shout out our boy Ted.
Yeah.
Todd did not. Beautiful ceremony.
And then Sonya
and Ted. We love y'all.
Send me your cash up, Ted. I know you ain't watching, so I don't really got to worry about it.
Listen,
but at least I ask.
I wouldn't be watching. I know that. Hey, let me knock these out the way, and Jeff's gonna do our introductions. Today's episode is called "I Wonder If Heaven Has a Ghetto," and it's just gonna be a wonderful knockdown, drag out conversation.
Yeah.
We got two wonderful guests with us. We're gonna introduce in just a second, but while they're getting prepared to join us, I want to thank our sponsors for sponsoring Religiously Incorrect, beginning with Phillips Care Cleaning Services. They do residential and commercial cleaning of services in the Mahoning Valley area. That's Trumbull, Mahoning, Columbiana, everywhere. Don't waste your time. Let Phillips Care take care of your mess. Floor cleaning, basic cleaning, carpet, upholstery, wood floor, move in, move out. They start at $35 a room for carpet cleaning with basic steam clean, and they will take care of you. Trust me, they will do it. We're also going to shout out Phillips Care Lawn Care Services. They do lawn starting at $30. Again, in the Mahoning Valley, spring, fall cleanup, mowing bi-weekly or weekly, edging, trimming. And they are a Black-owned business. That's what I'm talking about. The Phillips Care family of businesses can be reached at Phillips Care LLC on Facebook, or you can call my man Fernando at 330-219-7916. So be sure to support our sponsors of Religiously Incorrect. And if you'd like to be a sponsor of Religiously Incorrect and build your brand on the backs of our millions upon millions upon millions of followers that watch us from across the globe.
Look, we're in Jamaica right now. We're in Jamaica right now.
It'll be the greatest $12.50 you ever spent if you become a sponsor of Religiously Incorrect. I mean, it's the greatest ROI that you could ever imagine. But hey, Pastor Stanford, let us know who we got tonight.
Listen, we are so honored tonight. We have two Youngstown natives, two great brothers. I mean, they're just doing their thing over in Youngstown. First of all, we got my boy Leonard Carter, who has started and is doing phenomenal work in Youngstown with safe zones. Then I have my other boy, Big Al, Alexander Burkett, who is part of, and I'll let him talk about a part of the Bop Club, who has just been doing tremendous things over in Youngstown, Ohio as well. So listen, y'all put your hands together for these two brothers. Just give big ups to these two brothers, man. What's happening, y'all? What's happening, y'all?
Hey, fellas, what's going on?
Man, we are so happy to have y'all on, man. I just want y'all to real quickly, man, briefly, like I always say, succinctly, that's as many words as possible, but as few as necessary. Just talk about what y'all do, talk about safe zones, and then talk about the Bop Club. We'll start with you, Len. Man, just tell us what safe zones is real quickly as possible, and then we'll get into what's going on in our hoods.
Well, like you said, man, my name is Leonard Carter from the south side of Youngstown. Grew up there, born and raised from day one. Safe zones is basically for the community. You know what I mean? I'm the CEO and the president of Safe Zones. I created Safe Zones. Basically, we started with like little block parties and things like that. But I say, we need to go a little bit further, man. People need more. So that's basically what I do, man. I give the community the things that they can't get every day for themselves.
Okay.
We do things like we go out in the parks. We give out personal hygiene products. We feed them. And that's one thing I do off the top, man. One thing my grandmother always told me, man, and it always stuck with me. She said, no matter what you do, feed somebody.
Okay.
always feed. You know what I'm saying? She said, feed your enemy. So that's one thing I always do, man. I don't care what I do, man. You know what I'm saying? Any of my events, always got some type of food.
Wonderful.
So came up with safe zones. Safe zones is also like, I want everybody to feel safe. When you come there, you want to be safe. You want to be comfort. And when I mean safe from everybody. And I mean, I'm gonna get a little deep because you know what I'm saying, we're supposed to. When I say safe, I mean safe from rapists, safe from killers.
That's what's up.
Safe from all the bad stuff, man. You know, so when I say a safe zone, I mean perfectly safe zones. So that's what we are, man. And I'm out here to give, help out, and we really ain't going nowhere, man. It's really just want to just be here and make it better. You know, we came up in the streets. We know how it is. We're just trying to just be there for each other, like big brothers, big sisters, and that's it. So that's the safe.
Okay, Big Al, talk to us.
Well, first of all, my name Alexander Burkett. You know, everybody know me by Big Al. You know, I'm in an organization called the Brothers of Power Walk Club, and what we basically do out here, we're a classic car club. We all got classic cars, and we do a lot of things in the community. We do a lot of give backs, you know, a lot of kid events. You know, we do some mentoring, you know, and just like different things. You know, older people, they like to see cars. That'll make their day. We'll ride by, say hi, you know, and we try to be positive, give the young kids something different to look up to, like old school cars, you know. Everything got to be about that fast money. You got to get some. You might get some when you're 18. You might be about 25 when you get done fixing it, you know. But to put the joy in that fixing it, that what you got now, you know. So we try to give them different outlooks. You know, everything ain't about that TV, that social media, you know. So it's just different avenues we out here. And right now, this weekend, we got a not basically a car show, just to come hang out, show your cars. And we raffling off a scooter, and we giving out proceeds going to the Akron Children's Hospital Cancer Unit.
Wonderful.
Because, you know,
Awesome.
we want to reach the kids who can't come out to see us, you know. Let them know that, you know, we still care about y'all too. We ain't forgot about y'all, you know. So we're just trying to do a little good in the neighborhood, stay positive. Give these young kids a different outlook, you know, and things to do, different things to look at.
Before I let Todd jump in, let me ask you a question real quick, Al. Would my 85 Chevette qualify to be in a ball club? I mean, it's, you know, I mean,
just made the cut. You just made the cut with that 85.
Go ahead, Todd.
Man, I'm just so proud of you, brothers, and what you're doing in the Youngstown community and reaching out to the young and the old alike. I love the idea, Lynn, of the idea of the safe zone, and that we are the protectors and the keepers of our own community, making our children, our elderly feel safe. Pastor Jeff and I have, you know, done work. Of course, he's between Youngstown and Warren with his, you know, roots in Youngstown and now in Warren. But, you know, one of my philosophies has simply been that a lot of what we're seeing is because we lack presence in our communities, and especially the presence of Black men, just the everyday brothers, the neighbors, you know, just being out and about, letting the young men see you, those that aren't up to no good, letting them see you. It's not about trying to be a vigilante or anything like that, but being present, you know, being the guardians of our own. Stepping in when these kids getting out of pocket, you know, being a mentor, saying a little something to them that's not judgmental, but that might be that kind of strong hand they're not used to getting, especially our young boys, you know, getting that respect. And, you know, Jeff has a past. I'm basically a church boy, you know, just never been out, just never been my life. And, you know, that's fine. Everybody has a different path, but we need all people on deck. And we actually need to elevate, I think, brothers like yourselves, because I know what we represent in our roles and these titles, and, you know, we public officials and press conferences and prayers, and that is wonderful and good and positive. But I think there needs to be a diversity of imagery, diversity of leadership, where we're giving just as much deference and respect to brothers like yourselves as much as we are to pastors like ourselves, because we have a role but you have a role too. And you're seeing these young cats in different phases than we're seeing them.
Right.
Matter of fact, you're seeing them way more than we're seeing them because they ain't coming to church like they used to with mama dragging them and all that stuff. So we're detached. I'm 39. You the young pastor. I'm like, look, I don't know these kids, like you think, I know a few kids that come to church. So my question for you guys are, what do you see that you think a lot of people are missing in the conversation about violence and our community upheaval? What do you see here when you get feedback, when you do reach those young ones or those brothers that are out, and sisters, by the way, who are out there in that life? What are you hearing and seeing in them that you think we got a mostly church crowd that they need to know about what's happening out there?
Well, they basically telling us, man, what I get, man. They just want to be heard. They want to be understood. They want to have a chance. They want to feel love. So that's why we come up with big brothers. We try to do that because we can relate sometimes.
Okay, you were breaking up just a little bit, Lynn, so I don't know what that was, but I could tell what you were saying. You were saying that they want to feel loved and heard and understood, and you're absolutely right. Big Al, you want to add to that and share a little bit?
Yeah, the thing that I see with these young guys, sorry about that. The thing that I see with these young guys is the respect. They ain't taught the respect game like we had it coming up. It's not there no more. And once you talk to them and show them that you respect them as well as you want them to respect you, things go a little bit smoother, because a lot of them, they can't sit there and talk to you with being out my, sorry, quote unquote, nigga. They want to talk to you like that, where you got to break them down like, ho, listen here, young man. We're going to start this conversation all over again. Right. First of all, I'm old enough to be your dad. We're going to hold this conversation like I'm the grown man and you're a young man,
Yeah.
We ain't going to go that buddy and everything cool like that. They don't get that. But when you explain it to them the right way, things go way smoother because they don't got that no more. They got that. Soon as I see you now, I know you out here in these streets, I'm going to treat you like you're a thug, So a lot of that is love. You got to show them love too, because they ain't got it. They never had it.
I feel it.
Man, I both of y'all know me, you know what I mean? I can, as Pastor Todd said, I have a past, you know what I mean? I myself personally, 3 guns pulled on me right in my face. It's a blessing that I'm alive today. You know what I'm saying? None of them shot. Matter of fact, one of them I said, shoot me, because I'm coming back for you. You know what I'm saying? So we all had, we all been through the struggles. I grew up on the, street south side of Youngstown side. I was from south and east side, so I knew both of them. But we are dealing with, I think it's 14 homicides in Youngstown right now. Is that correct? Yeah,
somewhere in that neighborhood, yeah.
14 homicides in Youngstown. What can we do, man? What can we do? Because I think there's a disconnect between the church and the hood. Somehow there's become a disconnect. And I love what Pastor Simon is doing. And, the churches are getting outside the 4 walls and getting out there. But as you guys are working in your particular areas, what can we do as pastors? Because like Pastor Todd said, I don't know these cats no more. You know what I'm saying? I can say I'm from the streets all day and, what I done back when I was in Youngstown. But right now I go to Progressive Baptist Church and I come home to my wife and my family. I ain't trying to get in a fight with nobody, but what can we do as pastors?
To me, the thing I can say, you got to get out here, let them see you. They see you on social media. They might see you riding by, but they don't see you, if that makes sense.
That's right.
You got to get out here to where they can reach out, shake your hand, get to know what type of person that you are instead of just knowing you through Facebook, Instagram, somebody else saying, oh, them pastors, they good pastors. Well, how do I know they good? I hear them, but they could be just saying that for anybody, Like Pastor Todd said, I'm not no street guy. but I had a good life. Pastor Jeff, you know, I know where you came from. You know, so they don't know that. All they know now is that two young pastors. I don't know if they fake or if they phony because I never see them like that.
Right.
So, as far as the church, to me, get back out here into the neighborhoods, not in front of your church, but all through the neighborhoods. You know, all through, not in front of your church, because anybody can ride. Go down farther by somebody else's church. Call that church out that's right there. Come on outside. Let's go see what's the problem inside the houses. You know, we could see them out here because they acting the fool. Oh, yeah, they acting the fool. Why is they acting the fool? Where's they going home at night? Where's they sleeping at?
Right.
Who do they got to call? Who are they looking up to?
Right.
You know, what is mom and dad doing? Is they together? Is the household broken? All we knowing is, oh, here come these little dudes. They about to act a fool. Why not act a fool? We need attention. I'm not getting that attention from no at home. So I'm gonna make you give me attention, you know? So to me, like far as the church, like now, you gotta get back in and bring these kids back in to believing there is a God or a higher power out here, you know, that you're not alone. You know, they lost that. Now, you know, we lost, I don't know where in between, but we lost that training. You know, we lost that training that is people in the church that really do love you outside the TVs.
Right.
You want to add to that, Len?
Yeah, it's like he said, man. It's enough of these fields out here, man. Let's get back to that old school. Let's have these revivals. Y'all know they don't want to come to y'all. Y'all got to come to them.
Go pick them up.
Go get them.
Pick them up. Come on, y'all get in this van today. We're going to give y'all something to do.
That's it.
We don't got that no more. We got to get out. And that's one thing we do, man. No matter what we do, we out here at them and we determine, you know what I'm saying? We've been there where they was at. Like, so we all know we've been there. We got to go to them. They ain't going to come. We got to go get them.
I like what you said, Big Al, about, you know, respecting the roles, you know, of the church. Pastors have a role, but, you know, Pastor Jeff and I, and there are a few others that I can't speak well of, but one of the things I spoke when I came to my church at Second Baptist on the southwest side of Warren, and of course, you know, the interview, what you all about, what you're trying to do. I said, I want to reintroduce our church to the community and reintroduce the community to the church, because this building's been sitting here for 60 years. But over time, and sometimes the sad thing about it is good times or quiet times can make you complacent. And if things are going all right for a minute, because everybody will be out praying and hitting the streets because there's so many homicides in Youngstown. And the same thing will happen in Warren when we have a hot summer or something. And then we'll get out there and try to start this and start that. But when it calms down a bit, we let up and we stop engaging.
It's over with. Yeah, it's over with. If Mark's good today.
Yep.
And tomorrow we back to
we patting ourselves on the back.
Everybody at. Yeah.
But the next kid is already in training. The next one is already coming up, and he ain't got his hand on a piece yet. But give it 2-3 years without attention, without engagement, without seeing the faces of men and women, whether you're a church person or just a person in the community who's concerned. And when we walk away from that, I like to walk my neighborhood. I have a map on my wall in my church of my block that I want to walk on the southwest side. And at first, like you said, that trust had to be built. Because I go out, I usually wear a shirt and tie because I had a philosophy. I believe in dressing down to meet the people. But I also believe, I used to work in downtown Warren, that my community deserves, these young kids, they can see a young pastor in a tie looking nice in their community, not looking like I'm going to the Grammys, you know what I'm saying, but like business casual, so that they can see somebody of respect. And they thought I was running for office. They thought I was trying to come get a donation. They would get up off their porch and walk in the house when I would walk by, because they never seen a minister out. And they assume that whenever church folk come around, we want something. You must be asking for a donation. You probably about to, you know, ask about this. I'm 5 years into it, and now it's talking to neighbors on their porch. A young man coming to me about his problem. Young ladies telling me who fought last night. And, hey, talk to such and such because they beefing and we don't want nothing to happen. Them kids over there, or that lady don't have no light, her lights on. And can y'all do something? And we wouldn't know if we weren't out. I said this the other night to a group of brothers at a wedding reception. Most of the ministers in all of our cities do not know what it feels like to walk down a sidewalk in their own community. They don't know what it, and I'm going to say, we just got complacent. I'm not saying they're no good. They don't care, but we just, it's not a part of our routines, and it needs to be. Like, you know how we say these kids walking in the street? We got that problem in my community. These kids walking in the middle of the street. They're walking in the middle of the street. I went for a walk and realized I had to walk in the street.
Right.
Because the sidewalks is overgrown, glass everywhere, sticks and branches. So now I'm on the phone with the city while I'm walking. Like, yo, you need to get over here right now. Like right now. But if I don't get out there myself, I'll just be another person driving by complaining about a teenager walking in the street. Right. Instead of knowing, like you said, what's going on at home, what's going on. So, and I love what you said, Lynn, about getting back to revival and stuff. And people really do want spirituality as a part of the equation. I think they just don't want that emptiness and those easy answers that don't come with real engagement. I think they still want spirituality as a part of their community and their life, and whether you believe strong or not. But I feel that we have secluded ourselves. A lot of us, in me and Jeff's world, are trying so hard to chase superstardom and popularity and be social media stars and be the next dude on TV like GD Jakes, that we forget that our real ministry is the dude across the street, you know, not the dude across the world. Right. And, you know, I hope that the effort in Youngstown is consistent. And if everything dies down and things are not crazy for a minute, I hope they keep praying and keep walking and keep, you know, striving like that and partnering with brothers like you.
Absolutely. I have a real problem with the church having these gated churches. The grass is all cut. The church is looking beautiful, but the house next door is overrun. And you know, I just got our lawn guy to do the house across the street from us. You know, just do theirs when you do ours as well. You know what I mean? Just because I think it's more than just the church trying to look nice. So here's a question I have for y'all. Well, I have a question from one of our hosts too as well. Before we even go any further, give us just a little bit of background. Where y'all from? You know, what have y'all seen growing up? What was y'all's struggles growing up?
Me, I'm starting off. I'm from the south side of Youngstown, born and raised. My grandparents in the church deep, so I was raised up in the church. After I graduated, you know, I steered off a little bit to start trying to see the other part of the life, other part of the world, you know. Some that, you know, I never experienced, you know, I didn't have to, you know. I wasn't one of the kids that wanted for much, you know. So I wanted to get out there and see that other side of the world. And, you know, I ventured off into the streets and one thing led to another. You know, it got all the way sidetracked. And so during them times, what I done seen, what haven't I done seen? What haven't I seen? I done seen a lot. I done seen stuff that you sit down and write a movie about it, you'd be like, man, is you serious? Yes, I am. But as I got older and I had kids, I had daughters, I had to start thinking about things a little bit different, you know. And one of the things is I've been to the old city jail, been to the old county jail, and probably the last time I went, like I was probably in my early 20s, got pulled over. They say, well, we just got a description of this car. You robbed the roadhouse. I said, no, it ain't this car. Do you have any weapons in here? I just got a gun, had it in my aunt's name in the glove compartment. Now, I didn't know if I want to say, yeah, I got a gun, because they saying it was a robbery. So I said, well, sir, my aunt was in here. She stayed around the corner. Her gun is in the car. Why did I say that? Pulled us out the car, went to jail. But as we was going downtown to jail, they found the guys who did it. So ended up going to court and everything and got everything dropped, but still had the gun charge, like mishandling, some charge like that. So I had an aunt. Well, she stayed up the street from me. She was like an aunt to everybody on the street. I goes to her and I say, Auntie, I don't know what it is, but jail ain't for me. You know, I ain't soft about it. I wasn't nothing wrong. You know, I knew guys in there, But just the way it is, the way it's set up, the things you got to go through in there, that ain't the type of lifestyle I'm trying to do. She said, well, listen here. That's your decision. You want to walk that line? Do you want to play with that? You want to throw rocks at this glass window, or you want to just jump the other side and be who you is? Because you don't have to be like them to be cool with them.
Right.
You know,
right.
and my thing back then was, I'm going to do this, do that. Not to fit in because I wasn't no follower, but just to be on that side, everybody you cool with. And when she's told me that, I'm like, I really don't got to do this because they still going to love me anyway. Because I'm that type of person I could get along with anybody. You know, so probably about a couple months after that, I just went cold turkey. I said, man, I ain't selling nothing else. I'm leaving this alone. You know, I ain't doing this. I ain't going to jeopardize myself going to prison, being around all these dudes talking about this and that, this story, what I had. That ain't what I'm trying to do. You know, so moving forward, I started working, got me a job and jumping around job to job till I found the job I've been at now for like 16 years. So it was a struggle. I've seen a lot of things happen, but you got to get your foot grounded and you got to mentally prepare yourself to be who you is around everybody. You don't have to be yourself. Be yourself because it's going to carry you way farther than you trying to fit in with anybody else.
Right.
Go ahead, Len.
Well, like I said, man, I'm from the south side of Youngstown myself, lower south side, DTH.
Down the hill. They don't know about that. Down the hill.
You know, my mom, she was a single parent at the time. Me, my brother, and my sister. So, you know, we struggled a little bit. You know, my mom was cool, man. So I done seen a lot too, man. Especially in our times, man. We all in the areas where we done seen a lot. We done lost a lot of brothers. We've seen a lot of people just disapprove. You know, the drug game, I've seen it, you know, all of that. So that's, like I said, one reason why I created what I created. And, you know, then because I can relate a lot. And like I said, just because you're always doing, you know, put it this way, just because you at the times you're selling drugs and things like that, you really ain't always a bad person. It's your actions that become.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The things you do behind it and with it becomes bad, and that's when it becomes problems.
I got a question for you, brothers. You talked about quitting cold turkey, Big Al, and that's something we're often talking about. Every time there's another shooting or a drug or a big bust, or you know, you see cats going to jail and they're gonna be away for a long time, and you know, we're delusional. And again, it's not my life, never been there, but I do recognize that we can be very unrealistic about how easy it is to escape those patterns, whether it is financial pressure and you're just at a certain level and you just can't drop that to go take a $11 an hour job, $8 an hour job somewhere. You know, it might even be mental, you know, as far as your identity is wrapped up in this and this is just who you are. How hard is it to get out, and what can we do as a community to create better avenues of alternatives? And you can be as unrealistic as possible, because who knows what might come about if we just be honest about it. Because we act like, I got a cat that grew up in church and he's like, this money I'm making, I could never make it at a job. Y'all telling me to go get a job. You know, it's almost like a joke to me for you to tell me to do this. It doesn't make sense. But even then, whether it's a cycle of violence, whether you just got to keep, you know, how hard is it to get out, and what do you think we can do? And both of you can answer and talk on that if you would. Because I think most of us that haven't been in that world, we really don't know. We're kind of goofy about it because we just, hey, you mess up and sin, just go back to church and give your life back to God, and it's all good. You're like, nah, nigga, about to get shot. Like, we talking about just get. So, like, what can we know better about what that life really entails and why people stay trapped?
I mean, it's real hard. It ain't just the people in the streets that just got to watch their backs and things like that. Like you said, they can go and get a job and things like that. But now you got to worry about the pressure of this person that's doing a boss or something, you know what I'm saying, on your back, or a worker, you know what I'm saying, cussing you out every day, or sabotaging your part of the machine. You know what I'm saying? You got to deal with all of that stuff too. And then as far as the streets, yeah, you got to realize, man, just because you forget or just because you get out of it, the streets never forget. They never forget, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to realize they got big brothers. They got, you know what I'm saying, that probably, okay, when you was doing what you was doing, they was probably like 6, 7, 8 years old. I look at the times now. Now they're 19, 20, 21, and they heard the stories about what happened to their uncle or their, you know what I mean? So now, retaliation, everyone, you know, things like that. So it's very hard. It's very.
Wow.
It's very hard. It's very hard just to go from one lifestyle back to a normal lifestyle. For the simple cause, but what you got, I feel that can be done is we need to get out here, and these jobs now, they need to start hiring. Quit looking at this guy had a record for, say, selling dope. You can't label him as a bad guy. You got to open arms and hire this guy. He might be 10 times better worker who this person who never been nowhere, you know? Give them a chance, you know, because if you don't give these guys a chance to reintroduce themselves into society, it's always going to be they're going to go right back to that. And then some of the jobs they get at now, a lot of, like you said, you go through a lot of things on a job site. They ain't just punch the clock, go in and come home, you know, because you get in there, people looking at you different, you from the streets. They know you from the streets. They get to talking, find out this might be your first job, you know, so they want you to do this, do that, in which you really ain't got to. Now, you blowing your top because you ain't used to nobody telling you all this, what to do, how to do it. You know, we need to get back and help these guys reintroduce themselves. Go into these jobs with these guys when they fill out these applications, when they had their interviews. Sit out there with them. Give them confidence, you know. Talk to the guys at the job to let them know, like, this is a good guy. He's trying to reintroduce himself. But I'm gonna look at him just as you is. So when he come to me and say, like, they got this going on with this job, they looking at me different because I came from the street, I'm gonna come to you guys and see, like, hey, you know, I'm such and such. I would like to know what's going on at the job site with these fellas, you know. Once they're in these jobs, they just throw them to the wolves, some of them.
Yeah.
They ain't got that backbone where they could turn back and be like, I had a bad day today at work, you know? I don't know if I could do this. I ain't worked no job in like 20 years. They ain't got nobody to talk to and be like, listen, little bro, it's hard, but stick it out. You know, it's always tomorrow. Everybody have bad days at work, you know? But they need that backbone, that community support to let them know that we with you too, bro. We went through things. We ain't always been this way. Everybody have bad days. Pastor or not, everybody have bad days, you know? Just like I could maybe call another pastor. I could call one of my car club brothers and be like, what's up, bro? Today was no good day for me. They ain't got nobody to call. They might don't even have no family. You know, so they want to jump right back to the streets where they know in them streets you're going to find somebody you can link up with, you know?
Right.
But before you get back to them streets, you can talk to me, bro. You know what I mean? We ain't got the same mother, but I'm going to call you bro every time I see you because I'm going to respect you as my brother. I'm going to look at you as my brother, you know?
Wow.
Let me just add this to the question Pastor Todd asked. Yeah, let me just add this. I can recall getting I was and I don't want to say no names to bear no blames, but I know both of y'all cats know who I'm talking about. I'm just not gonna put their names out there. But you know, I had got linked up with the Ready Rock boys. And y'all know who they is, and you know what I mean. I got linked up with them, had a little, you know, was making a little money doing what I was doing, and at the time I linked up with the guy who introduced me to Christ. And, you know, I told him what was going on. And, he told me, he said, get rid of it. Get rid of all you got. I got rid of it. I didn't sell it. I didn't give it. Matter of fact, I tried to give it back. They said, we don't want it back. We want the money back. From that day on, I got harassed, man. I remember being at YSU at a basketball game. And You know, they sat behind me. They said, that new car you driving is mine. That's my car. That's my, you know, because I owe them money. Got guns pulled out on me. Next thing I know, that's when all of them got busted. Y'all remember when they got busted. Now, I'm out the game. This 20 years later. My sister has a birthday party at a club in Austintown. She has a birthday party. I said, I'm gonna come at the beginning of the party because y'all know I don't go to clubs. I'm a pastor now. I don't go to clubs. I went to the club and I bumped into one of the guys out of jail. You talking about scared to death because I still owe you money. You know what I'm saying? I'm out the game. I ain't been in the game for I don't know how long. You know, I bumped into him. He's like, hey, man, what's going on, man? I heard you doing good things in the community. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'm out. I gave my sister a hug. I'm done. No, I still owe this guy a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't got a lot of money to pay him right now. You know what I'm saying? So when you're talking about how hard it is to get out, I'm talking about 20 years later. I still owe, and I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? I'm a pastor. I'm doing good in the community. But, I mean, it can't be an easy thing. And like you said, Big Al, we have to, you know, be able to get these guys jobs and, you know, even if it ain't nothing but a reference and showing them how to put on a suit and tie, man, is something. And we got to start with the younger generation.
Well, what you said, go ahead, Len.
Love, man. We got to embrace them. Like you said, we got to get out here, man. We need y'all. We need y'all out here on this front line with us. Man. It's really important, man.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking of what Big Al was saying about connecting with brothers, and I'm talking grown men. And I know I know there's a whole lot of people saying save them young, which I agree with 100%. Get the kids, try to give them a different reality. But if you don't get their fathers, their uncles, you know, their big brothers, and like you said, Al, giving them that encouragement, because I worked in job services for 10 years in Trumbull County and just, you know, doing the referrals to jobs and, you know, brothers trying to put them up on game. Hey, this is an easy maintenance job, easy money, man. You make this much, you good. But let's just be honest, including black and white people, like you said, Al, who know that somebody is out of their element. They play on that person. They harass that person. They instigate and they try to get a rise out of them. And then so they can say, yeah, you everything I thought, you know, you were. And they don't have any recourse. They're powerless. They're in a different world than they were before. They have tried to escape. And I don't know, many cats that don't at least once try to pursue an alternative, even if it means going legit, starting a business, whatever. And then the police are harassing them, or the building inspector is giving them a hard time, or the, you know, whatever. And they don't have somebody to talk to, like you said, Al, to say, hey, you know, you can make it. I'm going to put my influence, you know, to make sure that you're not getting treated that way. But more importantly, I'm going to talk to you about this journey you're on. And like I said, the young man I'm speaking with right now, who is a church boy, basically, but he's out doing his thing. I'm like, hey, you got a son now. You got to live beyond yourself. You know, let him see something to be proud of. If you got a few stacked away, take that stack away and go get you a job and try to get you a leg up so that you don't have to be dependent on this. But if you run into problems at work or whatever, hit me up when you get off your shift. You know, right. I had a dude come in and, you know, he was just getting fired. And the last one was just worse. He could have went to jail for it and he had already been in jail. He's like, man, this dude just kept getting on me. White dude just kept getting on me. I put my hands on him. You know, I was about to choke him out. And I don't think people take seriously what is in these brothers. And that kind of segues to the violent side of things, of they have been raised in a method of survival and self-preservation and never allowing people to disrespect them. And so we're, like you said, we're throwing them to the wolves. We're literally throwing them to a place where they are guaranteed to be disrespected and there's nothing they can do about it except act the way they would in the streets. But I want to talk about the violence part, because we're talking like stop the violence. And I'm like, y'all, slogans never worked. Slogans, I could put 1 million stop the violence banners up. And I'm talking strictly on literally brothers and sisters taking one another's lives, putting innocent people in danger. What does it really mean to bring peace to our streets and to bring some calm? What is it really? I mean, because I don't think we really know. I think we just be talking because that's all we know to do. What does it really look like? And what What has it looked like? And give us an example, if you know of one, where you saw a turning point, not because everybody got saved, but maybe they realized, hey, this is just so self-destructive, or I've lost too much, or whatever. What does it really look like to pursue peace and try to get some understanding between brothers?
First of all, we got to get back to respect. That's going to start at the household. And to me, regardless is if it's a one-parent house, two-parent house, grandmother and grandfather, we got to get that respect back. You know, a lot of people putting that blame on, well, I'm doing this by myself. It's hard to doing this. You got to start as a kid. You got to start as a baby. Show that baby you got to respect mama, daddy. You got to respect us. I don't care what's going on outside this house. You got to start inside this house first. You know, and once you start getting back to that respect, now you respecting home, you respecting your neighbors. A lot of people don't even know who your neighbors on either side of you are. You know, that come from, there's no respect that's leaving outside of what you know. So a lot of this, you got to get back to the respect. These kids have no type of respect whatsoever for nothing. They don't care about going to jail. They don't care about if their mother house gets shot up 1,000 times, as long as nobody get hurt. They don't care if you get shot and get out next week, they're gonna do it again. They're not getting taught that you gotta respect yourself, you gotta respect life, you gotta respect your parents, you gotta respect everything around you, because if you ain't respecting none of that, ain't nothing gonna go right. Nothing's gonna go right, because there's no respect between nothing. And if you get out here and talk to a lot of these young guys, older guys, whoever it is may be that's into it with each other, it's gonna boil down somewhere down the line where somebody disrespected somebody somehow, some way, over some petty, some that if you really would have talked to and got to the bottom of it like real guys should talk, or young ladies, it wouldn't have to go through none of that. But you don't respect that other guy or that other lady, because I'm not taught to respect nobody. I don't even respect my household.
Right.
You know, so that play a big factor in everything too, to me.
Right. We gotta quit being these kids' friends, man. Be their parents. You know what I mean? Like you said, the respect, man. We gotta let them know, man. We can love them, but we gotta be firm on them, man. Like we gotta stop kicking it with them, stop partying with them, stop letting them know it's okay to go in the back room. You know what I'm saying? Oh, do what you do. Man, we gotta respect. One thing about, like I said, all of us, when we came up, we respected our older brothers and whatever we did, we respected the older cast older than us. Man, we gotta worry, like you said, man. We gotta worry about if you don't have to get shot or it's getting ridiculous. And then one, communication. Communication is key. We all gotta communicate with each other and stay on mute. One thing about me and one of my slogans that I always say, and only way we really gonna keep this right is unity and love. Not just unity, not love. They have to be together. We gotta have unity and love. That's the only way we're gonna come together and keep it right, man. Other than that, that's basically just what we do.
It's 3 words that I always got raised on through my grandparents and few older people: stay firm, stay fair, stay consistent. Firm, fair, and consistent. You can't go wrong.
Right.
Because now you're gonna know this is how it should be and this is how it's gonna be. You know, not that I'm tripping, I'm staying firm on you, but I'm being fair to you at the same time.
Right.
You know, and once you get that into them where they know and understand that, they start seeing things better for themselves and respecting themselves a little bit more.
Right.
How do you all feel that the current police department and the current relationship between Youngstown, especially Youngstown, because I know that's where you guys are from, South Side. How do you all feel that, you know, that's going? How do you feel that you know, are these young people starting, or is the communication line open? Are they relating more to our young men? You know, I see a lot of things on, and I don't know how it goes on in Youngstown, but a lot of these police are starting to, you know, play basketball and just, you know, go out and, you know, throw the ball with the kids. So is it getting better in Youngstown?
Yeah, they trying to do their thing a little bit too. And then we always know too, man, Youngstown, we didn't have no problem with bigger cities, man. We wasn't like that and everything. Our kids and everything now, they get angry at what they do, and they kind of make it a little problem too. And then the police have to do their job and stuff like that. But now they coming up with different programs, and they relating. They out here in the community more and things like that. They even relating with our programs like that to try to see what they need to do with us and come out and try to relate with the period. So again,
okay,
yeah.
I commend our police department. Malik Mustella, he has a program going now that he's putting together through Chief Davis. They nice program they're putting together, trying to outreach with everybody so everybody can start interacting with each other. You know, it's like you said, it's too many groups that's doing positive stuff, but you're doing it as self. You know, when you got a whole community trying to do the same thing, let's start interacting with each other. You know, let's quit having 3 events on the same day when we all can get together and make it one big event.
That sound like church, Doc.
Yeah, we got to get it, you know. And then once we start doing that, and the outside people, when I say outside, the people who on that fence about should I do this? Now they seeing everybody joining in, regardless if this church group is interacting with this car group. This car group is interacting with these sisters that go to Ursuline or wherever else. You know, everybody interacting with each other. Once they start seeing that, and everybody back for the community and start opening up these facilities where these kids go and play basketball, learn how to play kickball, you know, learn how to shoot pool, anything, you know, but you got to use each other and stop going for self, you know, because once things start going like that and everybody start opening up and start participating with each other, to me, things will start reaching out to kids, the young adults who see, well, this do work. We can interact with each other without being no crazy mess. I do feel comfortable going on the other side of town to this function without have to think I got to carry a gun, you know, because everybody having fun. So I think everybody having fun, everybody feels safe around each other. But till everybody quit doing self, you know, stuff for self, yeah, it's gonna be that type of fight. We're gonna keep coming back to the same results because one organization, one church can't do it by themselves.
Right.
Got to put our egos aside and come together because we all trying to do the same thing.
Right. Stay away from that glitz, the glamour, the media. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about that, man. You know what I'm saying? Put your heart in it, man. That's what we think about our organizations, man. If your heart ain't in it and you want the truth, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
Enough is enough with all that. We trying to stay real. Like he said, we got to unite. We got to love one another, man. That's the only way. We got to all come together. If we don't come together, man, it ain't gonna happen.
Right. I love that, you know, and that's just something that we talk so much about, coming together. And I do believe that people sometimes don't trust the process, or people are in their own bubbles and don't realize it, and are often not aware of what somebody else is already doing. And, you know, or maybe they see something being done like, oh, but things are still the same. People still getting shot. So let me try this. I got some people who I talk to who think like me. And sometimes just communicating and collaborating is hard work, and people don't want to do it. And it doesn't not want to, but everyone doesn't have the capacity to know what it means to sit down, search out, research. A pastor called me from Youngstown, a dear pastor, mentor of mine, when they were getting ready to do their prayer. And he knows what I do in Warren. And I'm always like the idea guy because I'm the younger guy. And one of my words of advice to him was, find a couple groups out there that are already there and let the community know you're going to support them. Make a donation, show up to what they're doing. You don't need a microphone. You don't got to be the head of it. Loosen your tie up and just go say, hey, what's Bop Club doing? What's Safe Zone doing? And hey, we're just here. What's the other one about the nobody's winning? The brother that's doing violence. You know, I said just Daryl Jones, just stop by and just let them know you don't have a new program. You're supporting what they got going. Exactly. Hey, if you operate on my side of town and you're around the corner from my block, I got a motorcycle group that wants to come and talk to the kids. Hey, parking lot's open. Let's set a Saturday. You know, we'll make it happen. And I think that collaboration counts. I want to switch gears before we close and talk about two things. And this is going to be a tough one, but I think it's two sides of the same coin that we got to deal with. The theme of the show is called "I Wonder If Heaven Got a Ghetto," and you know, or is there a heaven for a gangster and all that kind of stuff. What do we do to hold those who really are out there causing destruction accountable? Some people do need to be arrested and go to jail. And I know that I have people that love them. I know they got cousins and family too, and everybody wants to defend each other. But how do we take the glory and the defensiveness out of wrongdoing? And in me and Jeff's world, now you get into the homegoings and the funerals, and everybody has good qualities to them. But sometimes we have to tell the truth about why we're here.
Absolutely.
The reason we're here. And we trying to make everybody fly high and do the t-shirts and, you know, and all this. And I'm not here to put nobody in hell whatsoever, because I don't know what your relationship with God is. But I do have to speak to the actions that have been committed that brought this about. How do we take that glory out of it without being disrespectful? You don't want to make mama feel bad. You don't want to make the siblings feel like their person was trash. You know, that because that can happen. How do we deal with that balance? Because we do need to hold these people accountable, or at least be honest about what they've done that is destructive to themselves and others.
To me, looking in as you guys' job, preaching, say, a funeral, someone got shot, someone got killed. Like you say, yes, I would love to put everybody in heaven. I can't do that. So when I preach this sermon, I'm not going to preach on Mr. Whoever going to heaven. I got to preach on, you see what's going on in these streets.
Been there.
Let's not put me in this position again to where I got to say this same thing over and over. Yes, we want to go to heaven, but y'all know what's going on out here in these streets too at the same time. You know what's going on. Don't put me in this position and look for me to be the savior, because I can't do it.
You need to come preach for me, Doc. I need you to
I can't do it.
We can't say it like that, Doc, but I need somebody to be my spokesperson.
I can't do it. I love y'all to death. I love the family, but y'all know what's going on out here.
Right.
Now, what his relationship with God was, I don't know. I hope it was right, but I'm not going to sit here and preach such and such was this great guy and we're going to put him up in heaven. I can't do that. And I hope y'all don't look for me to do that and look at me sideways, because my preaching is to save these guys that's out in here in the crowd to stop doing this other crazy mess. Because when they leave here, you're going to try to go get some revenge or whatever else. Mm-hmm. So if I got to come back next week and preach the same sermon, don't look for me to try to put whoever up here. You know, I can't do that. But you got to respect me as a pastor to preach to everybody who's out in the crowd to stop, even if I don't even preach about right now who's going to heaven, who's not going to hell. I want to preach and get to y'all to stop this nonsense so you don't keep putting me in the same type of preaching situation.
You want to add to that, Lan?
I'm gonna try to flip it a little bit. I'm gonna go another way.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this. Being, you know, who me and Al is, you know, we try to do what we do. You guys are who y'all try to do what y'all do. And that's all we can do is try to do that. But when it all boils down, they gotta hold themselves accountable. You know what I'm saying? Anything we can do, or you guys can do, help and maintain the ones that do want to be accountable. I mean, because they know, man, like you said, you know. You can learn from babies, man. You keep sticking your hand in the fire, you know it's hot. You keep sticking your hand in there, that's up to you, man. You're gonna keep burning your hands. So you gotta hold yourself accountable. So we doing everything we can to do. In the end, when it all comes down, we still do what we do. We don't even make it hard. We try, but in the end, who they gotta go see? They don't see us in the end. And it all boils down, man. We sit here, we cry, they still don't see us in the end. They gotta go see the Creator.
Right.
So I mean, you gotta basically just hold yourself accountable. That's what we hold hope. That
Right.
one day everybody just, you know what I mean, like you said, man, you start grooming them as babies, grooming them as the right ages, then maybe one day it'll just click, man.
Yeah.
Can I just add to what Pastor Todd asked y'all? And I have a real issue with this, but I just want y'all opinion on it. You know, we talked and we've been talking for years about what they call the quote unquote street code and the street codes, and you got to have a code. You know, I ain't narking, I ain't singing, you know, but somebody know what's going on. Somebody know who shot such and such. Somebody know who, you know what I mean, who robbed such and such. You know, do we still live by that street code? Is it right to live by that street code? Is it right to hold hostage somebody's mother who lost their son, and you know that she's not going to get any justice? It's hard for her to rest because her son is in the grave, but you know who done this. What do we say about the street code nowadays?
Something my bro said, man. My bro Al, man, a couple meetings back we went to and things said, man, like one thing we got to do, we got to throw away that word snitch. We got to do away with that, man. And you know, it's not snitching to, you know, because it's getting crazy now. It's just out of hand. We got to throw away that word snitch, and just that.
We gotta definitely get away with that word snitch. And also now it has to be some type of way, some type of how, if a person do get involved with it and let the cops know what's going on, their name ain't gonna be all over the streets by 1 o'clock tonight. You know, it has to be some type of way that they is protected and that they feel safe telling the cops, these guys over here did that. I seen him get killed right there. This happened right there. You gotta feel safe knowing that, okay, I'm not snitching, but I might be saving his family from getting something else happen later on this evening, you know?
Yeah.
But they're not looking at it because, like I say, they saying, oh, you snitch, you did that. You know what I mean? You talk to the police. But understand this, you got a grandmother in this house. You got a grandfather. You got babies in this house. Do you rather this house get shot up, everybody get shot up in this house, instead of you telling you see this car outside every night sitting there looking, you know? But at the same time, you gotta feel safe telling the police what you're seeing going on in your neighborhood without it getting back to everybody around. Then now everybody around looking at your house every time they ride by. Oh, that's the one that's calling the police every time something go down. It got to be something that they're actually feel safe, you know, communicating with these police.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not only the police, but whoever in higher power, pastors, you know, city officials, because some people won't even call the police. They'd rather call a pastor, a city official. But at the same time, you want these people to feel safe and comfortable coming to you, that your name ain't gonna get slandered all over the street because you told me that's what's going on in your neighborhood.
Right. It's a delicate balance. And, you know, we say all the time, we get asked as pastors to let the community know that they can come to us. Here's an anonymous card. Here's this, that, and the other. But at the same time, there is this, you know, well, we got to do this legal process. And by the way, if you don't testify, we don't have a case. If you don't, you know, put yourself on record, we don't have a case. And then they come back to us talking about, well, we couldn't solve these cases because nobody would talk. I'm like, well, there's no safe way for them to talk. You know, it starts off anonymous, And I've been in that room. Somebody run to me in the church and they know that it's a safe place. Hey, I can call a guy plain clothes down here right now. I know a brother that'll treat you right. Yeah, and it's all good in the pastor's office. But then when it has to be pursued legally, which is nobody's fault, it's just the way the system works. The cops, the prosecutors are saying, without this person's testimony, eyewitness, get on the stand, affidavit, whatever, that's going to end up becoming public in discovery, because that's what these lawyers do. And they do it on purpose sometimes to intimidate people. They're still put out there. And I agree with you. There might need to be law changes that allow us to provide safer remedies for individuals, because as ugly as it is, it might be easy to say, it's been done to me, it's going to happen to others, that's just the way it goes. And it can be painful to say that others got off, but this group won't, because this is the only way to stop it. Yeah. The only way to stop it is, unfortunately, somebody's got to take the hit eventually. And even if you know of other people that may have gotten off or the hammer didn't drop, when things get so bad, we have to come to account of ourselves to say, hey, if it's like you said, we think it's snitching. And I wish I could put you brothers on a platform, because I'm sick of being a pastor talking about stop snitching. They're like, Negro, you don't need to snitch on nobody. Like, it's easy for you to say, of course, stop snitching. But more brothers who have been there and are there explaining that code to these younger people, explaining what it really means. You ain't just narking out cats on petty stuff. You're not just trying to ruin somebody's life just to be doing it. You're not putting your own family and friends out. But hey, if I have a cousin, I've told my own cousins, of course, I'm the pastor in the family. So, I got a rap, I got this, I got that. Can you come down with me? I'm like, look, let me help you before we get to this place. Right. Let me help you before we get there. And if I really feel like you're serious, I'll try to help you all I can and go down there and stand in front of the judge and talk to him about our family and where you come from, But if we have the kind of small, and I'm sure you do too, tight-knit community where I could have an old lady calling me talking about your cousin selling drugs, your cousin selling drugs, your cousin selling drugs. And please just tell them, if you don't do something, we're going to have to call the cops. And I'll tell them, dude, everybody know my family. You can't do this. You're literally like the biggest family in town. And they have to take account for that. And I appreciate you brothers for being forthright and straight up. And I applaud you guys for what you're doing and how you're, holding it down. And wherever we can partner, I know I'm on the Warren side of things, but this is a universal issue. And you guys have really given us the real. And, we're looking over and seeing the chaos that's happening right now. But honestly, give it a month or two and it could be happening in Warren on a smaller scale, because it has happened before. And so we have to care. And I'm glad you said, I want to go back to what you said, let Jeff have a word before we bring in Big Mike. We got to love each other as brothers. Black brothers, Christian brothers. I had to get to a place because I had this church boy arrogance, suburban, middle class. Everybody's beneath me. God knows how to humble you no matter where you come from. And I can go up to a brother now with a better spirit, still working on it, to say, hey, I don't care what you're doing, how you living, how you looking. I love you like a brother and I want the best for you. And if I could help you, I would. And that's what we have to do. And we have to really mean it. And so I'll give it to Jeff, and we'll do a quick ad and bring Mike in and wrap this up.
Just real quick, man. Thank both of you all, man, for coming on, taking the time out of y'all schedules, man, to come on and just talk to us and talk to the community about what's going on. Just real quick, Al, you said you have an event coming up this Saturday. Where's it at? And is there a Facebook page we can look up the Bop Club? What y'all got going on? Yeah,
it's on there. It'll be Saturday on Logan, 1523 Logan. We're just gonna have cars out hanging out, and we're gonna do a benefit run. And like I say, sorry about that. Sunday, we're gonna have a raffle off a scooter, and proceeds of that is going to the Akron Children's Hospital Cancer Unit.
What's that address again? 1523 Logan?
1523 Logan.
What time Saturday?
Saturday start at 12 o'clock.
Cool. Try to slide through. What you got going on with Safe Zones, man? When is the meetings? What's going on? Can people join, or what's going on there?
Well, yeah, most definitely. And we always taking volunteers, donations, recruits. You know what I'm saying? We always taking somebody for Safe, man. My next event, oh yeah, we got the Safe Zone Market coming up, man. Any vendors and everything like that, man. We have it coming up. We're gonna have some entertainment and things like that. July 10th. That's from 12 to 5, I think it is. 72 Burkett on the south side of Youngstown, but that'll be out. Like I said, man. Safe Zone Fridays is what one of our big things we always try to do, man. We try to get out into the community, go to the area parks, man. When we get volunteers, we give out personal hygiene products and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's always Safe Zone Fridays. We always in the community, on the parks and things like that. And I'm always collaborating with all the other people, things like that too. We out here.
Thank y'all again, man.
Bring the kids out. Bring the kids out. Let them see the old school cars. You know, they can sit in there act like they driving it. I'm gonna hide the keys though, because they will pull off.
That's smart, Doc. Hey, thank you all so much. We want to do our last ad, and this, has no graphic, but it's from the same Phillips Care family of businesses. Phillips Care Training are the proud new owners of High Street Fitness at 277 South High Street in Cortland. Yes, Black-owned business, Black-owned physical fitness and training business, and they own High Street Fitness in Cortland. They're running specials for the summer. It's too late to get your summer body, get your fall body together. You know what I'm saying? Just get your thing, get it, the Halloween body together, whatever costume you want to be in. But check out Mike Phillips. He is one of our great brothers from the Warren area. Love him like my own brother. You can call him at 330-984-7632. Look up High Street Fitness on Facebook or visit at 277 South High Street in Cortland. And thank you again to the Phillips Care family of businesses for being proud sponsors of Religiously Incorrect. We're going to bring in Big Mike to wrap us up. I'm sure he has a few things to say. What's happening, Mike?
Fellas, how y'all doing this evening?
How you doing, my brother?
Big Al, Len, thank you so much for coming on, man. Really appreciated the conversation. The knowledge, the game y'all was spitting, it's much needed, man. That's much needed. I was never one to be out in the streets either, like Todd, grew up in the suburbs, things like that. But I always wanted to be. I tried it, but it just wasn't for me. You know what I mean? Tried to sell a little weed. It was messing up the money and counting up everything wrong. So I'm like, yeah, this life ain't for me, bro. So, but yeah, again, appreciate you guys coming on, man. But I do have a couple of questions for you real quick. How much do you think hip hop and I just can't say just hip hop, but the entertainment industry itself influences people wanting to be in the lifestyle?
It's a big role. It's a big role. You can see it. You go from guys wearing purses, little baby purses now everywhere, and
right.
You go some of them wearing big purses, because the rappers doing it, and it's like it's a big influence, like the cars, the girls, the money. But you don't get to know that this rapper right here just went to college like 5-6 years, get his PhD and everything. You don't know the struggle. He talking about something that just gonna pull you in, but that's not the lifestyle that he's really living. So it's like it's big out here. You just look around and look at these youth and just look at the lifestyle they live in. It goes hand in hand to all the stuff you see on social media, hip hop, the movies, everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a big influence out here, man. Like you said, the thing is, man, we need to learn to educate. You know what I'm saying? Learn and do some research and really find out what they're really about. Expand your mind and things like that, man. Before you go and try to imitate this person.
Right. I mean, I tried to defend hip hop for the longest, but I really can't even defend them no more, man. And then, the record industries themselves, I mean, that's what they want. That's who they sign it. You know what I mean? You have a lot of artists out there who real musicians and sing about something with substance, but you don't see them on the video channel. You don't hear their songs on the radio. It's all the same old thing. So I definitely blame them for being part of the problem also.
Everybody want to be Lucius Lyons.
Everybody want to be a gangster, man.
Well, they want to profit off our pain, man. They're profiting off our pain.
Exactly.
Right back to us.
And then, another thing that pisses me off is that they glorify the mafia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then when it's us, then they kind of look down on us. You know what I mean?
And we glorify the mafia, and them cats hate us.
Right.
Them dudes hate us, man. They don't like us.
Haters.
Never did.
Moves.
Yeah. One more question. I work with a lot of white conservatives, and it's like whenever BLM, Black Lives Matter comes up, they always say, well, what about Chicago? Or what about Youngstown? Or what about this city and that city? What do you say to people who make those comments?
Man, all lives matter. All lives. You know what I mean? I mean, we having them problems everywhere. It shouldn't be lives, Chinese lives, man. All lives matter, man. Really, you know what I'm saying? We all one, really.
Big guy?
It's all lives. I'm like Brother Lynn said, all lives matter. Black lives matter, but we got to understand that ourselves. You know, we get mad at the cops because the cops killing, you know, certain brothers, sisters. Turn around, same guy, you doing the same thing down the street. So why should we look at them any different than you? Than you killing on each other. So all lives matter. You know, we got to understand that not only do Black lives matter to us, it should matter to everybody. All lives should matter to everybody. Because once you go through that graveyard, can't say who is this, what color is that. You're all under that dirt.
Wow.
Right.
Well, they would get along at your job, Big Mike. Bubba would be like, y'all all right with me. Y'all all right.
Well, that's all I have, you know. Yeah, you know, I'm watching the news. I see the killings, you know, 4th of July about to come up. You know, Chicago gonna be off the chain, and I'm just,
man.
I'm just like, what do we do, man? What do we do? And it's like, I wanted to do this episode because it's like everybody's saying the same thing. We need to pray. We holding rallies. We doing this. We doing that. But it seems like nothing is changing. So
I got a question.
It gets a little deeper than that. You got to get out here where they at too.
Right.
You got to go out here by these bars. You got to go where they hanging out at. Let them know, hey, man, I love you too, man. The bars ain't the only ones who love you.
No doubt.
I'm gonna come out where you at. I'm not afraid to come where you at.
Right.
I'm you too. You look at me, you seeing yourself.
A lot of people.
What's the question?
You don't really understand until you come out here on this front line. You got to come out.
Yeah.
So, all right. I want to end on a 30-second question. I know Big Mike usually asks the questions, but this just came when you talked about Chicago. And, you know, when Trump was in office, he was like, we need to bring the National Guard in. We need to do this. We need to do that. I do have a question. If you knew it would kill all this noise and there wouldn't be another murder literally for a year or two, and you actually had the opportunity to get in front of these young men, people on the wrong path, would you support a real strong crackdown in our communities? Like, you know, we know it's coming, feds come in, and I'm talking a strong crackdown, literally coming after some of these guys, whether they're big level drug dealers or selling guns or whatever. Would you support that if you knew that on the other side of that, there would be peace? You know what I mean? An opportunity to kind of restart the conversation and restart our communities. I don't want to crack down. Yeah, I'm just saying, you know.
As far as a truly crackdown, sometimes you know what is needed. Bad as we hate to look at it, because a lot of people gonna get caught up in the mix of it. But sometimes that's gonna be the only way we're gonna get to the root of everything that's going on. You know, and in the mix of that, in the mix of doing that big crackdown, like I say, a lot of people it's gonna be people in the middle that shouldn't have been in the middle, that's getting in trouble with this too. But it's gonna here coming down the line, that's the only way it's gonna happen. Because take for Chicago, Chicago, you getting 40 and 50 shootings a day.
Yeah.
You know, it's good. It's a time that you're gonna have to go in there and put that crackdown on.
Right.
And as long as it's legit and straight up on both ends,
no killings
with it. Then, I mean, maybe we need that. You know what I mean? If they come on both ends, and maybe that's the time for that.
You know, Mike, you said that, everybody calling for prayer in these rallies and things of that nature. The last rally I went to in Youngstown, when I was still a pastor in Youngstown, we went downtown. We had this big rally. I can't even remember who was. It was right before Tito Brown took over office. But I remember sitting out there, and I was do the prayer, and a lot of different people down there. And I remember having a candid conversation because Zach was running for the mayor. The next day, Zach died. The next day, Zach was murdered. So a lot of times these rallies, and I'm not saying to stop them because it may help to a certain extent, but I think there are drastic times call for drastic measures, and we are in drastic times as of right now.
Yeah, I think that's a deeper conversation. I appreciate y'all answers. There's a lot of systemic stuff that really has created our community, so it feels unfair to bring more pain when a lot of systems have created what we see. But at the end of the day, you got to stop the blood flow some kind of way. Absolutely. And there are times when they tell a person, we got to amputate your foot to save your life.
Yes.
And maybe our communities, some of them are at that point. Yes, we really wish we could keep some of these guys out and but if this is what it takes to bring peace back, maybe some of our Black voices and voices they haven't heard say that kind of thing. Because it sounds too Republican. It sounds like Trump. It sounds like people that don't love our community. But maybe out of our love for our people, like if I knew getting 15 dudes off the street in one weekend would save 100 lives over the next decade and countless broken families and homes just from that small group that's constantly going at each other and cycling this and bringing new cats in. It sounds ugly, but we have not done better doing any other way. That's just my take. Don't know where that would ever go.
Thank y'all again, man. We appreciate y'all.
Appreciate that.
Y'all the truth, man. If y'all would stay on for a quick second, Mike's gonna take us out. We want to thank everybody for watching and sharing. We got a lot of great clips. You said a few things out on Lynn. I'm gonna literally clip and send out to a group of pastors that I work with and talk to because they need to hear exactly some of the things you said. It wasn't negative, it was enlightening. It was enlightening to say, hey, this is what we're hearing from the ground level. Let's stop meeting by ourselves, discovering and figuring out. Let's listen to the cats that know. So I appreciate that. And that's all I got. Big Mike, anything else?
Nah, man, that's all I have, man. Thanks again, fellas. Really appreciate you.
Like us, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Follow us. Look for it. We will be off next week for the holiday. Yes. Me and Jeff going to be blowing our fingers off with fireworks and stuff. We're going to be in the emergency room with our kids. So y'all go take the week off and then come back and have a prayer meeting that the Lord give our limbs back. But y'all enjoy. Thank our guests. Everybody give it up for Lynn and for Al online. Thank you, brothers. Appreciate y'all for a quick second. We're going to outro and we'll see y'all later.
All right. Peace, y'all. See you next week.
Peace.